I can start. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Dr. Arnab Bal, IQAC Coordinator, Sucheshan Mahavidyalaya, Siliguri, West Bengal, welcoming you all in this afternoon webinar titled Digital Transformation in Education, Necessity and Trends. I have all of you are present here, and we are full house. And also, I extend my welcome to all the participants, those who could not join in this webinar through this portal, but are attending this through YouTube. Thanks to you all. Well, we are directly coming to the program. We have divided the program in three categories. I'll try to introduce the very objectives and aims of the program, followed by a special lecture from our principal, sir, Dr. P.K. Misra, and then the director of digital transformation in director of this digital A2ID solution company, Jogesh sir, will be addressing you. It will be a very special lecture, the focus of our seminar today, followed by vote of thanks. And in between, we will also have interactions with you. We'll try to answer the queries that we are going to put to our speakers. Well, you know very well that this is a very timely approach on our part, because you can understand that the post-pandemic situation in India is not going to be very easy. In all the aspects, we are going to face a great challenge. This we have discussed many a times. Personally, also have introspected on this matter. But we are all teachers engaged in different institutions, and really we are all feeling, we are all feeling that what should we do? Somehow, within the heart of our hearts, we are thinking that perhaps we are not being able to reach to our students. And when a teacher cannot reach to their students, then a teacher actually does not exist. This is an abnormal situation which demands a very meticulous, calculative approach. That is why the term transformation. We need to transform the situation. The onus is on us. Face-to-face education, the day of that education is going to come to an end. And what should be the alternative? Yes, we know from every corner we are hearing nowadays, education should be online, it should be digitized, documentation and other aspects, all are there. It's good to hear about all these things. But tell me honestly, are we all prepared? And if you count the number of colleges all over India, and if you also take into account the socio-political matrix, is it really viable? How many students can be catered through digital platform? This is an issue which is very pertinent. We are not a European country. We are belonging to colleges where we are basically responsible for a group of students who are coming from fringe areas of the locality or middle class people. Suddenly asking them to opt for a platform for which they are not aware about and to be a part of an IT revolution is not justified and ethically is not right. But even then, we have very limited alternatives. We must take a stand where we are not going to disrespect their socio-economic and political identity. At the same time, we'll try to make them enriched in getting the ideas for the new generation, for the new technology, not feeling that it is something that it is not their cup of tea, not feeling left out, but feeling that digitization of system of education or online education is a very easy changeover from the normal situation that they're accustomed to, I mean classroom education. This is the call of the reality. So I am not in favor of clamoring that all the education institutions should be or a digital mode of teaching or online mode of teaching, and gone are the days when classroom education will not be there. No, I'm trying to talk about a situation where online education will go hand in hand with classroom teaching. I'm talking about a system where paperwork will be there, but we will be slowly going for paperless activities, because we have in the back of our mind agencies which demand certain data every year, time to time. I'm talking about NIRF and NAC. So digital transformation is the need of the hour. And believe me, I'm not an expert into that. And that is why I'm very inquisitive to know what Jogesh sir will be talking about it. And I'll be doubly inquisitive to attend any of the seminars which addresses these issues. My dear colleagues, I also believe you're equally curious to know how to deal with all these things. We're hearing certain terms, LMS, IT, this and that. At the same time, we are also believing how to engage all the students into that. For my college, let me tell you, we have got 6,000 plus students. We have got 30% first generation learners. We have got students from minority belt. We have students where 40% of them do not have any mobile phone. Now, if I am going to introduce something in our college, online, sophisticated online education system, and next I ask them that, well, your online teaching will be from this and this time, please join. I can't do that. So it should be slow, as I told you earlier, but it should be there. What will happen, how government is going to take action, that is a different issue. There we are going to plead. We will plead. We will suggest, we will tell that make mobile phone available to all. A simple device, consider mobile phone not a matter of sophistication. Consider mobile phone a necessity if you're talking about change in education sector. If you're going to provide through ration, rice, and other essential commodities, let mobile phone be another essential commodity in the education sector. Let it be provided by government. Let other agencies come forward. Let there be a mechanism where mobile phone will not be considered something very special, but it is a necessity which we consider a part of our education. For a student who is, for a little boy or girl who is now entering into his or her school, kindergarten, they are now attending these classes. Now, when he will grow up, when he will come to college, these words will be meaningless to him because he is already accustomed to that. But we are at a crucial juncture, at least in college education, where most of the students have already attended first, second, third semester. Some of them are waiting for the final exam. And now suddenly this COVID-19 pandemic, and then they do not know what will happen. Do we know? We also do not know. But onus is on us. We have to really think the very material reality of India. That a public education system cannot be like a private education system. We have got certain responsibilities. And in this responsibility, I can incorporate digital education. I believe change is possible, slowly, but in a very systematic manner. All of us, in our different affiliations, are taking classes through different online platforms. So we are already initiated into this. Why you are initiated? Because we wanted to reach to our students. And you can really assure me, I know this will be your response. All of you will say, if I ask you, are the students responding? All of you will be saying, yes, they are responding. They will respond. We are trying to circulate documents. We're trying to circulate notes. We're trying to circulate audio file. We're trying to circulate WhatsApp messages. We're trying to talk to them over phone. We're trying to bring them in Zoom platform. We're trying to bring them in Google Meet. So we are doing. So a digital revolution can bring all our individual efforts into a very different sector in a planned manner, in a textured manner, so that we initiate a system where students will be encouraged to join without thinking much about spending. That is what we need to think. That is where we are standing now. How European countries will tackle this issue and how Brazil and India will tackle this issue, there is a difference. How African nation will tackle this issue, there is a difference. We have to find our own way. We cannot imitate the revolutionized states of America or Europe or any other outer universities. We have to think of the ground reality, and I mean that even in this ground reality, it is a possibility that digital transformation can bring a change, a new change to a very positive direction. We all face different problems in collecting data in our colleges during NAC, you have understood. Because everyone thinks that it is something that they cannot be a part of. It will be very difficult for us to convince your office colleague that it is their responsibility to be a part of the whole fraternity. Because to be a part of that, you have to upgrade. And how many of us want to upgrade ourselves? How many of us can candidly confess that, well, I don't know this thing and I want to know? Let us all say that we want to know. Today's webinar is aimed at that. We all want to know. That is why we have joined here. And we want to know how we can improve. We want to know how we can improve the quality of our student. We want to know how we can bring all our students into a different platform. We want to know how we can assure our students that, well, boys, well, girls, we are here with you. Platform does not matter. And it is the feeling, it is the touch that matters. And that touch, if it goes through digital medium, no harm. So I welcome all again, and I will expect suggestions from you also. This webinar will be a success if after the main speaker's address, you all join into a kind of discussion, giving your own inputs that how really we can challenge this COVID situation and how we can really think of innovative aspects of introducing new mechanism of teaching learning in our respective institutions. That will make this a success. So again, finally welcoming you, I introduce Dr. P.K. Misra, our principal sir, a very dynamic person who is always in favor of doing something new, introducing something new, believing that public institutions have a larger role to play for the people who are in the fringe areas, for the students, the first generation learners who have come to the college with much expectation, but suddenly their enthusiasm has been halted by a calamity for which none of us are prepared. So I welcome Dr. P.K. Misra sir to deliver your valuable speech for the August gathering. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Dr. Arnab Bal, Coordinator IQAC. Once again, good afternoon to you all. I am Principal P.K. Misra, Suryasena Mahavidyalaya. Greetings from Suryasena Mahavidyalaya fraternity. Friends, ours is a big fraternity after all. We have almost 6,000 enrolled students, 3 streams, science, arts and commerce, and a strong management who promote new ideas always. I thank to the President, governing body, Sri Jayant Mallik, and other members of the governing body and our faculty for their encouragement. I Digital IT Solutions Private Limited Pune for tying up with us in arranging this webinar. Dear colleagues, the word which comes to closest to my mind, transformation, is change, but they are not the same. While transformation is undoubtedly a type of change, it differs from more routine types of change in its depth. Change is more about reacting to immediate needs and focusing on local shifts that are required to meet those needs. Transformation is about the practical, visionary steps that institutions can take to meet future needs. Coronavirus has indeed made us bound to think about the deeper meaning of this word in the context of higher education. We all have understood one thing. Our classroom will not be the same again, and the meaning of it has changed forever. Instead of lively students filling up a classroom, we will have to face sitting from each other. While this does not seem to be a very happy picture for an active teacher, but we have to face the reality and to face it with a positive mind. It is this voice of optimism within us which tells us that we can repeatedly alter the reality. We can transform it. It is at this stage that we can think of the necessity of digital technology, which can transform the existing reality. I am not talking about a temporary change, but a permanent transformation of the old for something new. To me, digital transformation refers to the evolution of an educational organization's foundational academic practices using technology and the data. The possibility and the tools of transformation are rarely present there. We need to streamline this. There is no such thing as traditional student anymore. It is more common for many students to balance work, family, and college on a day-to-day basis than for one to be on campus full-time with a sole focus on going to college or to attend class. That's where the digital transformation comes in. Students are already familiar with digital avenues like social media, websites, email, and more. By using their basic knowledge about digital media and by taking the help of new technology, it is possible to think about a new system of imparting knowledge. Why? Every college will have a different area they want to focus on first, but some of the preliminary goals of digital transformation in higher education will be the same for all, like creating a culture of data-driven decision making, optimizing resources, upgrading functionality of the office, use of innovating teaching learning management tools. Friends, MHRD and UGC are engaged in an endeavor to frame a common digital learning protocol for higher education in our country. Once implemented, we all will be bound to adopt new technology. Till this is done, it will be wise to upgrade ourselves in handling the digital platform seamlessly. A teacher should be proud owner of a flexible mind who is ready to accept change, to learn the new things and to innovate ideas. All this should be done to provide the student an academic atmosphere where learning becomes an enjoyable experience. A digital learning platform is here to stay, and we have no other way but constantly upgrade and innovate our teaching learning methodology. This is a challenge, and we should face it with a positive mind. Keeping this in mind, we thought of this organizing this to hear from the experts about his take on the issue and to share the same with you all, to learn new things together and to apply it for our first love, our students. Thank you very much. Once again, I invite Mr. Jogesh Pawar, Director of Digital Edu IT Solutions Private Limited, Pune, to share his ideas because of his expertise in the field of digitalization and transformation of technology. Thank you all, and I welcome once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your enlightening speech. Principal sir has pointed out a very interesting fact. He has said that students are already aware about the preliminaries of digital education. They have got the device. They know what is an email because they enroll their names and they enroll their email ID when they got their admission. They have got their mobile phone, many of them. They are all having a Twitter account maybe or WhatsApp. So they have got the basic infrastructure ready. Now what they need a spark to use all these devices for learning purpose. Not to watch a movie only, not to watch cricket, but to use it and maneuver it for some real purposeful education. And that is again bringing us to that point that it's a matter of mind. We have the device and we need a mind, we need the right spark, an intention, a desire to learn new. And how we can learn that, how avenues are open or avenues are opening up regarding that, I think it is the director, Jogesh sir, who is the best person to enlighten us. So I welcome again Director of DJ Edu IT Solution, Jogesh sir, to address us. Sir.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Arnab Paul, uh, Dr. Arnab and Dr. P.K. Mishra, principal of the college. And thank you very much to the organizing committee of the Educational Institute, who has given me opportunity to share my thoughts. So I'm very much impressed with the thoughts which has been shared by Dr. Arnab as well as Dr. P.K. Mishra related to the digital transformation. Yes, and I can see a positive attitude which is required to adopt the digital technologies considering the current scenario of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so it has affected various different sectors of the day-to-day life as well as the industry point of view, and education is also one of the sector which is very badly affected, and that would be the last one who will come out of this COVID-19 impact, because uh, education domain is if that gets started, okay, then there will be uncontrollable situation, okay, because students and teachers, so they come in close contact with each other in educational institute. A lot of rush is there, and traveling, transportation, so all these effect issues will be there, and that's why educational institute will be the last to open up uh, in post pandemic situation. uh, when we are thinking of digital transformation, am agreeing to Dr. Arnab message to the audience that yes, we will have to think of the digital data repositories, transformation, communication. So various different aspects he has already addressed it. So I would like to start with a very important aspect of information communication technology. So Government of India is promoting use of ICT in education domain. So when it comes to ICT, it is information communication technology. And when this information communication technology will get adopted fully in education domain, then we will see a different type of educational institute, different types of students, different types of methods of teaching and learning. And I'm very sure that we are moving towards it slowly. There are several challenges which we all have gone through, we all are facing, and those challenges will get overcome by all of us in slowly uh, g- in a due course of time. I would like to uh, focus and appreciate the efforts which has been taken by the educators in past 2.5 months with a proactive approach and with a positive attitude. uh, Almost all have adopted the digital mechanisms for transforming, for delivering education to the students. So they have used a lot of tools like Zoom, uh, Google Meet, WebEx, Microsoft Meeting. So all such things have been used, and the education is continued. So I really appreciate that for their efforts, as well as I would like to appreciate the efforts of students, as Dr. Arnab said that students are already aware of this digital world. They are well connected with the social media, and what we will have to do is we will have to motivate them so that they can make use of their involvement which is there in social media. So similar kind of involvement can be brought in for the educational networking also. So that is another aspect. So social networking and educational networking, so these are two different aspects, and educational networking is the fulcrum for tomorrow. So looking at all these aspects, okay, students are already technologically advanced, okay, at least in urban areas. In rural areas, uh, because of the lack of proper IT infrastructure, because of the lack of internet connectivity, because of the social economic status of the students, those are little bit lagging behind, but slowly they will also come into mainstream. And even governments, other NGOs are putting effort so that all such challenges which they are facing can be resolved easily. So my point here is educational networking uh, will be the future for tomorrow. And for that, educational institutes have to equip themselves.
Problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have joined. So there was some issue at my end that is resolved now. So
Okay.
we are live again. So all
Okay.
participants are also there. You can able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, we were
Hello.
discussing. Yeah, we were discussing about the educational networking aspect. So educational networking is a new concept uh, which I would like to introduce to you. And for that, I was mentioning that educational institute also has to be equipped themselves. Okay, so there are various different aspects which educational institute also needs to consider during the situation which from which we are going currently. So that situation is working from home. So when educational institutes, when the teachers, faculty, staffs, when they are working from home, then we will also have to focus on the communication aspect, because whatever informal communication mechanisms we are using, those may not be effective in long run. Okay, in terms of maintaining the records, in terms of maintaining the accountability. So do we need any kind of a formal mechanism where educational institute will able to communicate through that medium with their stakeholders? So that's one of the trigger that's one of the point I would like to discuss with you. Second aspect is how we are going to conduct our admissions. Okay, most of the institutes have already started using online platform for enrolling their students, but they are facing some challenges related to the availability of laptops and computers. So do we need to move to the smaller screens? Do we need to move to the mobile phones, smartphones for executing our admission processes? That's not only for the students, even for the staff members also, because every staff member may not have a laptop at home, right? So this aspect we will have to consider. Second aspect is what will happen if we continue in next 2-3 months the learning from home. Okay, we are forced to implement such things. So I'm again introducing a new word to you, that is learning from home. So student will get exposed to it, and how this learning will happen. Okay, what mechanism needs to be used, what different tools will be required. Okay, will only Zoom, will only Google Meet, will only Webex will satisfy the need of educators? do we need to have a collaborative platform? So all such things I'm going to discuss with you in my presentation. Next aspect is how we are going to securely, efficiently and effectively going to share our educational content with the students, how we will be sharing our notes. So these are few aspects. Apart from this, how we are going to conduct our exams. So the term end exams of 1920 has been managed somehow with the different options available with educational institute. But looking at the difficult situation in some region of India, we will also have to proactively plan how we are going to conduct our exams, term end exams of 2021. And last, which would be very interesting topic for you, that how we are going to deliver the education to the students who are sitting at home. Okay, so all such things let's see in my presentation, today's presentation. So if you hear a low volume, then you will have to just raise your output. Hello everyone, welcome to the today's session where we are going to discuss about digital transformation in education. I am Yogesh Pawar, a social engineer at ART. Continuous improvement, business excellence and performance improvement is my passion. I am a member of Quality Accreditation Board. I am involved with various quality driving tasks at industrial level as a mentor, consultant, certification guide, assessor, auditor and coach. I started my journey into education domain for integrating technologies and institutional processes. Since last 10 years, I am serving in education sector as a founder member of Digitality. Currently, I am heading operations, and which gives me opportunity to meet educators and educationists pan-India for resolving their challenges. That brings me here to help you in dealing with the current challenges of education industry. Let's have a quick look at the agenda points. Never before in human history we have witnessed educational disruption at this scale. They say sooner or later many of us will get affected by the virus, and 90% of affected will face no or lesser medical situation. It is forcing us to change our legacy processes. We as educators, educrats, educationists need to go back to drawing boards and relay out our institutional processes. I welcome you all to join with me and let's understand the impact and the solutions from technology point of view. We will need to live with Corona's bad effects. Containment zones and quarantine centers, movability of resource will always be doubtful for first semester in the academic year 2020. Due to all these happenings and uncertainties, administrators of educational institutes are under tremendous pressure. Complete adoption of digital media and total give up on paperwork is only way out. More than physical infrastructure, we need to focus on being with best digital infrastructure. Digital transformation is need of an hour. Corporate-led approach is must for day-to-day chores and process automation. Over the years, we all have worked not to change or to change minimally for our administrative processes when it comes to education. What I'm trying to say is, even if we adopted automation, we will have to keep hooks for paper trial and human checks. We have never imagined paperless colleges and schools. To meet up these challenges, only technology has the best answer. We all need to respect, learn and adopt the new processes for our own success. Technology is not integrated if it's not linked with our tasks, and it will only add up to the work that is not really helpful in long run. These are the 6 major sections where technology will surely help and will be useful for each educational organization. Let's take a detailed view of each as offered by our ERP MIS system called as SIMS, Student Information Management System. In my view, when even some of staff members are working from home, communication becomes a very important aspect which might have been overlooked. Communication will become bottleneck for all quality and performance oriented tasks. Task Manager can be the best tool for monitoring peer-to-peer collaboration. As everyone is working from home, efficient communication system will make life more easy and will speed up operations. SIMS covers communication over mobile app, web portal, SMS and email. What it means that any notice, alert, message, GR is communicated to respective stakeholders in more than one method, that is app, portal, SMS and email too. If admission is not made easy and available from home, then enrollment for the year may drop, leading to heavy impact on workload and teacher-student ratio. We have devised an efficient admission process that is very easy, intuitive and quick. SIMS covers all aspects from admission inquiry management to roll number generations and ID cards too. Digital Edu has designed the system which is highly configurable and very modular. This means that based on the needs of institute, we can change various steps and depth of information needed from admission seeker very easily and quick in time. We support digital document repository to get rid of handling papers and documents. As a statutory requirement demands, we keep track of reservation quotas, scholarships, and provisional admissions too. Roll number generation utility can be configured to generate alphanumeric roll numbers based upon the requirement of each course or class. For admission from home, online payment and respective record KK becomes very crucial. One of the important goals of admission process is to assign and collect fees. Fees can be paid online by students using net banking, debit credit cards, UPI app and wallets too. We offer a complete set of communication friendly tool for requesting and approving partial payments and installments in the fees. Bank reconciliation utility works like a breeze to map out target and collections. We maintain all records of student balance and fee dues with the dates. Overall, this information can be then imported into systems like Tally or any other accounting software. Various popular streaming tools are available for delivering lectures. I am very thankful to those companies who are offering it free for education. But it also has increased our way by means of manual setups, creating meeting requests, distribution of links, timetables and keeping up all the required discipline issues. There are various other things that might be needed for continuous student engagement, encouragement and tracking. It's just not enough to deliver lecture over a video call. Yes, I will repeat, it's just not enough to deliver lecture. You will all agree with me that all students are not same. Some need tight tracking, some need boosting, some need regulations and some need to learn at their own pace. Whatever is the identified need, adopting our learning management system will solve all these issues. In these times, live classroom seems like a very important tool. Same is true for e-attendance, educational networking, student engagement tracking. young generation used to electronic media for all socializing and entertainment. Educational networking pivots on this. I am very sure even if we move out of the danger zone of COVID, still a progress-minded educator will keep balance between classroom and digital learning management system. We all call this as a blended learning environment. Going paperless, we will have to change the way we give homeworks, the way we collect assignments. Through SIMS, homeworks or assignment tasks can be conveyed to students via mobile app and portal. SIMS also has a provision for uploading the completed assignment and making it available for the teacher for evaluation. Timestamp of uploaded file will help in keep the track of on-time submission. We will also need to find out new ways and means of assessing students. Not only it needs to get electronic, but also it needs to move into mobiles. Please note, mobile is more than a computer. Surprise quizzes can help to track activities and understanding. If needed, internal assessment can now be spread over multiple surprise quizzes. As quizzes gets evaluated automatically and system remembers the marks given to the concept, the continuous comprehensive evaluation can be extended to the surprise quizzes. As the graph of victim is rising and all were busy in adjusting the pandemic situations, some authorities have cancelled the exam and might be an okay decision. But this can't be new normal. The new normal can be electronic exams. Potentially, this can be the most significant piece of transformation COVID can bring in our mainstream education. Exam from home is not a just concept anymore. Who knows, maybe the end semester exam would also be needed as exam from home. Our system is equipped to conduct MCQ as well as descriptive answer exams. SIMS can also handle evaluation from home, wherein teachers get to see entire answer paper on mobile for each answer and answer-wise on-screen evaluation. The best part of this is that exams can be conducted reliably over the poor internet connection also. Surveys and feedback works as a backbone of healthy progressive system. Regulatory authorities like UGC, AICTE encourage natural surveys, feedback system for grading through the instruments like NAAC and NBA. While the paradigm is shifting, as we are preparing to work from home, it is important to maintain all goodies that were being followed in regular days. In case of assessment surveys, we need to keep doing them frequently as mode and method of education is changed and learning curve is involved for all. Digital Edu recommends taking surveys more frequently than before. Continuous evaluation of situation is must for assured success. Digital Edu SIMS has lot more to offer when it comes to NAAC and NBA implementation. It can be a topic on its own for another webinar. Digital Edu is equipping universities, autonomous institutes, educational trusts and colleges with an robust, secure, scalable and evolutionary process automation engine. We call it as SIMS, Student Information Management System. SIMS is all-in-one platform and end-to-end student lifecycle management. MIS, Management Information System, and ERP, which is Educational Resource Planning. As a first step towards digital transformation, adoption of SIMS is helping institutes in revamping entire organization, its process, people and culture too. Every organization has used automation, but it has kept hooks for paper-based processes. Now, in new scenario, all operations have to be fully paperless. We have added new facilities to SIMS for turning institutions into a full digital operations. SIMS take care of all operational needs of all stakeholders like management team, staff and faculty as well as teachers. It also takes care of communication, collaboration and convenience for students and parents. Despite the differences that exist between organizations' environment, Digital EDU has proactively identified, studied, analyzed, proposed, and developed case studies to improve the success factor. Digital EDU's mission is to enable world-class management standards at all educational establishments in India through technology. We strongly understand the concept of Eastern Economic Edition. We truly want to facilitate this journey of masses into classes via education. We are currently working with 125 plus institutes. We have developed a technology platform that covers all needs of any educational establishment. Automation of daily chores is our specialty. We offer free trial session for everything. Understand, evaluate and then implement is our clear policy for handholding with educational institutes. Yes, participants. So this was the inputs from my side regarding the digital transformation at educational institutes. So we all have to focus on the various different aspects of digital transformation. So I have given focus on 6 aspects which were related to mainly the communication, admissions, fee collection, then homework assignment sharing, quizzes, examination, assessment and evaluations of those, learning management system and the feedback and surveys, and there are many other important aspects which will be the backbone of the operations at educational institute, because at least in next 3 to 4 months everything will happen remotely and most of the staff members will be operating from their home. So in that case, how this collaborative working can be ensured and how the effectiveness of and efficiency also can be ensured by making use of all these things when it comes to operations management. So more than it's operation management, I'll say it's a foundation. It's a foundation for good administration, then management and governance of educational institute. So that's it from my side. I would like to request participants to raise their concerns and even they can share their ideas, okay, and inputs on the thoughts which we have all the panelists have shared with you. So I would like to request Dr. Varsha Saraswat to share to speak. So Dr. Varsha Saraswat. Then Dr. Dinesh Kumar. Dr. Mahesh Sharma, you can, you have raised your hand. So I'm allowing one by one, everyone who has raised their hands. So Dr. Varsha Saraswat, might be ma'am is busy, so we can move to Dinesh Kumar. Dr. Mahesh Sharma. Yeah, Dr. Bashant Kumar Pradhan. Dr. Satpal Singh, you can unmute yourself. Dr. Suman Punia, Subhajit Roy, you all have raised your hands. So now you will have to unmute yourself to speak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Can you hear me, sir?
yes, yes, it's
Uh,
very
y-
loud and
uh,
clear.
yeah, okay. Thank you, sir, for giving opportunity to tell a digital concept over this webinar. Sir, this is my suggestion over this. This is a truly blended learning process, as we can know that this is a new normal theory that had been introduced in this decades.
True.
Sir, but sir, my question is that, sir, what is the marginalized student, those who are living in the rural background, the remote area, the what is the how can we measurement the poverty level over this digitalization?
Uh, yes, Mr. Subhajit.
Yes, sir.
So your concern is right. Whatever
Yes.
change we are adopting, okay.
Yes, sir.
So digital transformation. When we are referring to digital transformation, so it is a long process, and it is going to give us various different benefits. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
okay, so that's one aspect, and second aspect which you are focusing is
Huh.
the digital learning of the students who are from the uh, social,
Remote.
like remote area, like
Eh,
to be very specific, these are from the lower socio-economic economic background.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So these are two different aspects. So digital transformation is another aspect for
Huh.
educational institute, and this digital learning is another aspect. So
Another.
let's make it separate, first of all. Second
Yes, sir.
is, yes, so there are few students, like it's to if you ask me to quantify, there are 20 to 40% students who will come, who will fit into this category. Okay.
Eh,
And considering the current scenario of COVID-19, okay,
hmm.
uh, digital learning, digital education is not reaching to such people who do not have such kind of IT infrastructure or such kind of IT gadgets. Okay,
Exactly, sir.
so that's a fact.
That's a
We
fact.
cannot change it overnight, but yes,
Huh.
we all have to join hands together, okay, with the local
Yes, sir.
authorities, with the NGOs, and
And
also need to initiate talks with the government authorities, how we can bring such students into the
into
mainstream
this category.
education for at least for next 2 3 months. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
In
sir.
some
Sure.
areas the situation is very bad, and I'm not sure that whether they will able to open up school for the at least for the first term. So
Mhm.
there will be direct schools and colleges will open for the term 2
Hmm.
of the academic year. Okay. So these are the practical challenges, because in India IT infrastructure is not uniform across the country. Even in the urban areas you will find the difference in the IT infrastructure. So all these things are the challenges, and we have to find out solution.
Have to find.
It's not only
Exactly, sir.
one person who can come up and say overnight such things will change.
Hmm.
And it is a fact that some of the students may not have the smartphones for
Ex-
digital learning. So in that
Yes.
case, what could be the different option? From my side, I'm suggesting one, that if we consider the Zoom and other platform which are being used for uh, delivering education nowadays,
Hmm.
okay, instead of that, if we can use a different kind of platform where say maximum percentage of student can attend it live. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And remaining student can refer those recordings at their own pace. So I have mentioned in my presentation that such kind of platform will be the need of coming days. Okay, because Zoom, Google Meet,
Google Class.
WebEx, Microsoft Meeting, all these utilities are designed with a basic understanding of the availability of consistent internet and quality internet, and which
Quality.
is not available in most of the part of the country. So the concern is, are we using right tool?
Yeah.
Okay, are we using right tool? And what kind of IT infrastructure will be required to make use of these tools? So question is, do we need to change our IT infrastructure which will suit the Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet and Microsoft Meeting, or we will need a platform which will suit our IT infrastructure
Our it.
and which can be used by the student, teachers, and every stakeholder in the education domain. Okay,
Truly indeed,
and
sir.
such
Yes,
tools
sir.
are available, and Digital Edu is adding value for all these things.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you so much,
yes,
sir.
yes,
Thank
yes,
you
yes,
so much.
yes. Nancy Jaiswal, you can ask your question. Then Tuhin Kanti, you can ask your question.
Hello, sir. Good
Yeah,
evening.
please. Yeah, good evening.
This is the second time I'm asking the question to you. In your last webinar also, I was there and I asked a question. I was very satisfied with that, and today's presentation as well was no doubt very informative. My question last time was related to the interest of the students, and today you have given the answer in a very designed manner that we can take quizzes and everything. So I wanted to know that regarding the evaluation tools, right now we are taking classes online with Zoom, Google Meet and everything, that is fine, but that is a one side communication.
True.
Regarding the evaluation, right, means whether the students are understanding or not, or whether they are actively participating or not, don't you think any
Hello,
free
everyone.
platforms like how Zoom and Google Meet is offering, say for 40 minutes or 1 hour, they are allowing us to go for a meeting? So don't you think any such free trial platforms for evaluation should also come, so that we first make ourselves, user friendly with that, and then we can go for the advanced option? Like for evaluation, no such very good platforms open and accessible to all, user friendly, etc., right now is not available. So what is your opinion, sir, in this respect?
Okay, so my answer is very simple to you. Digital Edu is a company who would like to collaborate with you for a free pilot run of the evaluation process.
Okay, sir.
We will collaborate with your institute, and you can generate the confidence about the whole evaluation process. You can share your ideas. Whatever we have, we will offer it to you free for the free pilot run. And
Okay.
you can generate the confidence. You can use that tool and give us your feedback, and based on that we can take it ahead. See, assessment and evaluation will be required in coming days, for
Exactly,
even
sir.
for the assignments, because assignments will also be online. Okay, and same
Exactly.
is for the quizzes, same is for the exams, same is for the test series.
Mm-hmm.
So for all
Yes.
these things you will need a good evaluation mechanism. Okay,
Exactly, sir.
and that could be automatic, semi-automatic kind of thing. Okay, and for that
Yes, sir.
Digital Edu is have a very good tool which is proven, tried and tested and appreciated by many of the educational institutes. So we can join hands together for these things, and I'll be happy to serve you. My contact details are there on the screen, you can note it down. Okay, and
Sure, sir.
yes, we can collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you
Great,
so much. Thank
Nancy.
you so much, sir.
Yeah, so it's my open offer to all the attendees of this webinar. So wherever you feel that you can collaborate with the Digital Edu for free pilot run, we will be very happy. We will be very glad to associate with you. Next
Sure,
is,
sir. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you, Nancy. Uh, Anyone else who would like to ask questions? So D10, Tuhin Kanti Ray.
Tuhin Kanti Ray. Myself, sir. Myself, Tuhin Kanti Ray.
Yeah.
I am a faculty member of Host College, and my
Okay.
subject is geography.
Okay.
I have a question that to what extent can the ICT technologies, we can implement these technologies effectively in replacing the traditional teaching processes in case of our lab-based subject, in case of practical or lab-based subject. To what extent we can use this system for lab-based subject?
Yeah. See, whatever developments, whatever things have happened till now, okay, that is for the knowledge transfer. Okay, so knowledge transfer through digital medium. Uh, for that, you are using the current available tools. For practical based subject, we will have to brainstorm further. And Digital Edu, again, as I mentioned, let's come out with the solution and we will integrate it in our system for offering to the institutes. So currently for practical, there is no online solution available. Okay, so किसी को सोचना पड़ेगा. Okay, somebody has to come up with a suggestion, thought, कि these are the changes which can be done, or this is a completely different module which can be developed for all these things. So इस तरह से likewise something has to come up and we will do it surely. I can assure you that we will adopt such things if any suggestions come from your side, or if you know any good system. Okay, just share those details with us. Accordingly, we will incorporate in our system so that it can be, we will make it affordable, because it's a aim of Digital Edu that we are making technology affordable for the educational institute so that they can easily adopt it.
Thank you.
And there should not be any kind of restrictions over them. I will ask Tamalika to ask her question. Tamalika, you can unmute yourself. I have seen your question in the question and answer panel. My request is, okay, anyone else? Mr. Dinesh Kumar, you can ask your question. PC. So someone named as PC, name is not appearing. You can ask your question. Just raise a hand.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, you talked about in your earlier lectures, I heard that models of facilitating factors of digital learning. So many factors you mentioned. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. So many factors to mention that faculty should be well trained. Technology must be depth. Technology must be there. Okay. But what about my question is if we conduct digital examination from our side, the college authority, how will be sure that students are not writing open book examination on that side?
See, if we refer
It's
to
a
current,
big challenge, sir.
so you're talking about the current situation, or you're talking about
Yes.
the post-pandemic?
Suppose I put some questions on Google Form, formulating 50 I want to mean that 50 MCQ type questions. Okay, students might consult books or other persons in their home. So how we shall be secure from our faculty side that they are not copying they are not consulting others while putting their answers on the web?
Yeah, for all these things, there are artificial intelligence bots are available which can prevent all such things. Okay, so if uh, if you adopt the system which has such kind of AI tools, so artificial intelligence is there. For example, now I am talking to you. Okay, so my camera
Okay.
can check, can monitor movement of my eyeballs. Okay, the mic of this laptop can find out suspicious sound. Okay,
Yes,
so all such things can be used, and up to a larger extent we have used such kind of AI mechanisms in our system.
okay, sir.
Okay, and to make the examination more secure and reliable, okay, you can use our tool Google Form. Yes, Google Form, you cannot control all such things, but if you have a requirement, very specific requirement about all these things are technically possible. Okay.
Is this system, sir, artificial intelligence is inbuilt in Google, or whether we have to hire from other side?
No, in Google Form you don't get all such things. You will have to find out a technology partner like us who can deliver to your expectation. Yeah, we are collaborating with educational institutes on all such requirements. We are providing a complete ERP solution, educational resource planning system.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
No, thank
thank you.
you very much.
Your good name, sir?
Pasto Sarate I.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Nice talking to you. Miss Tamalika, do you have any question? You have raised your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Good afternoon, sir. This is Tamalika. I work as a school teacher. So what I have experienced is that schools and college, they provide a like holistic education. It's not restricted to syllabus or only to studies. So my question is how in online education we can actually provide this holistic education, like adding co-curricular activities and make this learning like complete experience for the students. It's not to be like homework and learning and like lecturing bound. I hope I am able to make it clear.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
clear. So your focus is on the holistic education,
Yeah.
which covers the extracurricular activities as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you are over with your question, I can answer it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. See, we all have to understand one thing, that whatever is the current situation and whatever tools we are using, okay, it is just an option available with us. Okay, and these options, these tools, these solutions have been imposed on us by COVID-19.
Yeah.
Okay? All these things were not by choice. These are
Yeah.
imposed on us, and we are like managing with all these resources in current scenario. We all have to believe that this situation will get over in next few months. Okay.
Yeah.
Barisha, just a minute. Okay. Yeah. So this situation
Please
will get
unmute your
over in
videos,
next.
audios.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please ask them to unmute their audio. Otherwise, it is getting disturbed. Okay.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
who are unmute your video, please.
Correct. They have unmuted their.
Mute your video. Is there mute it?
Yeah. Mute
Some
it.
videos are open, audios are open. Please mute it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So I was sharing with you that all these things are imposed on us. So that's a fact. Second aspect is, yes, whatever tools we are using, those are only transforming the information. Okay. My
Yeah.
question to you all, is it effective to transfer the knowledge?
To some extent, but I feel that students might feel it boring sometimes. Like I deal with school students.
Yes.
Sometimes they're looking here and there. In usual classroom, no, we can get their attraction in many other ways, uh, like the body gesture and all these things. But in online teaching, we can't get that those things. No, we can't make those human connection.
Yes.
So it becomes difficult, and I think for especially for junior students, no, they feel bored after certain of time, like after 20 minutes they can't listen to the same lecture and the studies again.
True, true, true.
Yeah.
See, this even happens with the elders also. Okay,
Yeah.
even in this webinar, I don't know, like everyone will be engaged or involved with the same energy. No, that cannot be expected. So what it needs is, okay, we will have to change the way we are interacting with them when we are using digital platforms. Okay,
Okay.
when we were in the classroom, we used to keep watch on everyone, and
Yeah.
that is not practically possible in
Yeah.
digital learning, okay, or
Yeah.
virtual classroom. That's not possible. So there are few suggestions which have
Yeah.
been given, which has been shared with us, shared with me, especially during different webinars, as well as most of our customers are using. The first important thing is keeping student engaged is
Yeah.
the polls.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can raise the polls for the students. Okay, so we
Yeah.
can, so that they can respond to those polls uh, as your lecture continues. So after
Yeah. Yeah.
every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that
Yeah.
system should automatically release those polls for the students. Okay, and
Okay.
we
Okay.
can request students to attend those polls, and we can say that if you attend all the polls, all the questions given in the polls, then your attendance will be marked. Okay, something
Yeah.
kind of this would be
Thank you, sir.
helpful to seeking their
Yeah.
attention. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to ignore the answers given by the students, okay, for
Mm.
certain time frame. But if a student gives a wrong answer,
Yeah.
okay, then system will automatically suggest him that this was the right answer and you have suggested a wrong answer. Now
Yeah.
all these things, so whatever responses are there, which need to be analyzed by the system, because teacher will not able to do all these bookkeepings,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
system will help you in evaluating the responses of all these polls, and you can evaluate the knowledge transfer to the students. So that's the first suggestion which is incorporated into our system. Okay, and
Okay,
this
sir.
is developed based on the inputs which we have received from various different subject matter experts. Second thing is, at the end of the session, we should release a quiz. So polls is a different set of questions. Quiz is a different set of question. Quiz has a time frame, and even the polls has a time frame that within 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you have to answer this question. Okay, so
Okay.
such mechanisms will keep them engaged in your lecture. And if you have a 50-minute lecture, okay, in that case you can raise 5 to 6 small questions where answers will be in yes or no, true and false, or any kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that will help you in doing this, because only delivering lecture, because in most
Yeah.
of the lectures the mics are muted, students feel that they are disconnected mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we will
sir.
have to involve them, and these are the two solutions where you can involve them. And in between also, like, you can ask, you can ask questions to the students, they can raise their hands, they can answer your questions. So all such things will require.
Yeah. Yeah.
While doing all these things, technology should help educators, technology should help the faculties and teachers in doing all these things, because it will be very difficult to do all these things while conducting lectures.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah?
true. Thank you for lighting up on my points, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you Tamalika, it was nice interacting with you. So there is one more participant who would like to ask question. So SABBH, so name is not appearing, and there is one more person, Galaxy J7 Pro. So mobile model of the
Hello.
mobile is appearing.
Yes, sir. This is Triloknath Pandey speaking, sir.
Yes.
Sir, just I have a question. Like when we are dealing with students, like online classes, like we have this one, like we have the option where we can mute and unmute people, right?
Yeah.
But when we go for Google Meet and other things we have, we are going on online teaching. The problem arises like, when we have like a fake people also entering with the fake name, or maybe like the child enters in my name. Many a times I've seen my name is only, it can be seen on the screen. So how to avoid this thing, or how to stop this? Is there any way to protect this thing?
Yes, there is a way, and all these things are the problems which has been faced by many of us. Okay, first thing I would like to share with you, whatever names you have taken. Okay, so Google Meet, WebEx, Zoom, okay, and Microsoft Meetings. All these softwares are available free of charge, and I'm very thankful to all those companies who are offering it free. But we will have to understand that whether these tools are designed for education domain. Okay, so you have to think and identify the limitations of these tools for using in education domain. Okay, so once you know the limitation, then you will simply find out the better solutions on this.
So do you have any other option? Do you have any other options like
yes.
we can
So
opt?
Digital Edu has a very secured, reliable platform. Okay, so first of all, let me answer your question.
Yes.
You have mentioned in your question that students are log in with your own name. Okay,
Yeah, many times I've seen
many
it.
of the times, yes. So they are students, and they are like, it's their right to do all such mischievous things. Okay, so technology should control such students, and what we are doing is we have a secured mobile app. From this secured mobile app, it is connected with college, school, or college ERP, and whenever student logins to that secured mobile app with the mobile number and OTP or username and password, then all the backend records are getting managed. Like his attendance will be captured automatically, the responses to the polls will be analyzed, the responses to the quizzes, homework, assignment, everything will be analyzed, managed by the system itself. Okay, and student will not have authority or will not get chance to do all such things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you Mr. Pandey, you can connect with us on the board
Sure.
numbers,
Definitely, I'll do
and
that.
we will be happy to associate with you for implementing these things in your institute. I'm
Thank you. Thank you.
very sure that whatever challenges you are facing, okay, those will get overcome, because this tool, Digital Edu, has designed specially considering all the challenges which has been faced by most of the educators, most of the educationists in past several months. Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
we have a proven track record of 10 years of implementing such systems in education domain.
Lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Nice
you.
talking to you, sir.
I'll be getting back. Same here,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone else who would like to ask questions, so can raise their hand. Dr. Kusumita Banerjee Mukherjee, Dr. A.M. Tripathi, Vijay Lakshmi, Sanjukta Padi. So, okay, Mr. Kabir, you can ask your question. Mr. Kabir, you have raised your hand.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kabir.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, sir. But I feel very much and understandable this lecture, and I enjoy it very understandable. My question is that, like, we are talking about webinar. What are the key takeaway from this webinar? Like, which type of key are you talking about it?
Which type of?
Key taking about this webinar, digital webinar.
I'm not getting your question, Mr. Kabir. Extremely sorry.
Like in digital webinar, IT solution.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, sir.
I'm not getting your question.
Yeah, I'm talking about digital education.
Yeah.
About key to this webinar. Key, mentors of the key.
Key.
Yeah. KEY.
KEY. What is the key
Yeah,
to this webinar? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, See this. What is key to this webinar? Uh, would you like to ask that what has triggered us to conduct this webinar?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. See, what has happened is every institute has to improve their effectiveness and efficiency, and digital transformation of the educational institute is one of the option available with them. And Digital Edu is a company who is expert in process automation at educational institute. May it be an admission process, may it be an examination, communication, or any other processes. So all such things can be automated by making use of our platform, and we are raising awareness within the society, so that the challenges which are being faced by most of the educators can be resolved.
Okay,
And
thank
that
you, sir.
triggered, yeah, that
Yeah,
triggered
yeah.
us to conduct this webinar. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you, Kabir, for asking question. Anyone else? Mr. Basant Pradhan, Dr. Basant Pradhan, if you want to ask your question, you have raised your hand. Fine. No one else is there, I think.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Who's this?
Hello.
Yeah,
Sir,
please.
I have another question, sir. Myself, Tuhin Kanti Ray.
Yeah, please continue to in.
Sir, it's almost one and
Yes.
an hour. We listening this talk, and now after now time 5:30. Now I am getting a message that you have used 50% of your 2 GB data.
Okay.
And I have already used 50% of my high-speed data for listening this lecture.
Yes.
And when we have to conduct full-fledged classes using this kind of platform, how we can manage, sir?
Yes.
And now my operator requesting me to buy data.
Correct.
That
Correct.
means
Correct.
we want to conduct this session for 4 to 5 hours, then we have to buy data.
True, 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 true. So Tuhin, I really appreciate your concern, and it's a very practical input you have given at the end of the session. And this is a challenge which will be faced by most of the educators. Okay, we all have to understand again one thing, that whatever tools we are using, see, Zoom is not designed for India. Zoom is designed for the Western countries, where the basic requirement for using Zoom is consistent internet connectivity and at least 3G data connectivity. And second thing is, depending upon the transmitting quality. So what Zoom is doing is they are transforming the high quality videos, and that's why every user who is connected with this webinar is consuming the same amount of data which I am consuming. Okay, so we will have to think of all such small aspects when we are choosing the partner for digital transformation. So consumption of data again. So do we really need a high quality video during our lecture delivery? So what kind of video quality will be required? So all such research has been done by Digital Edu in past several months, and come up with a very affordable, okay, very affordable low capex model. It will be only OPEX model with affordable pricing, affordable running expenses for the every stakeholder who will be associated with these platforms. If you are consuming 2 GB data per day, that means 400 rupees per month is an expenditure for every user. Okay, and that is for 1 hour lecture. So if students are attending say 5 to 6 hours lectures in a day, then they will have to spend that much amount if you are using Zoom, if you are using Google Meet.
It's not affordable for our student.
Yes,
sometimes it's not affordable for our students.
So we will have to, like, we have made provisions, and we have considered all these aspects when we have designed our tool. So there should be minimum data consumption at the student side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tuhin. And with all these things, I would like to.
Sir.
Yeah, who's this?
Yes, okay, sir. I'm myself Arnab.
Okay.
Okay,
So
okay. Please continue. Please continue.
I would like to thank all the participants for the very good interaction. बहुत ही अच्छा लगा मुझे आपके साथ interact करके. So it's a pleasure for me to interact with you. Thank you for your participation. Almost it's 1.5 hours, more than 1.5 hours we are connected here on this platform. And thanks for your sharing your questions, concerns, and some of the ideas. Thank you very much. It's over to the organizing committee now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Jogesh, sir. Thank you. We are almost towards the end of the program. We'll take another 5 minutes. I did not expect that this whole session would be so interesting and effective. I mean, following the type of questions that have been raised by all our honorable colleagues, I'm quite hopeful that in future, I mean, the prospect of digital education in India is bright. Why I'm saying this, you see, if I am going to keep track of the type of questions that we have received, and Jogesh sir has to answer all sorts of questions which actually he's not supposed to answer. I mean, the basic question is that why and whether it is feasible or whether it is ethically right to introduce a kind of super quality digital environment in our educational institution is a question which sociologists and our policymakers should answer. I mean, we are finding that technologically we are so advanced now, because Jogesh sir has given us a bird's eye view, a kind of visionary statement about a kind of very beautiful LMS system. But when you are trying to look into the hindsight, our social reality is actually very different. I mean, who is going to be responsible for that? I mean, it should go hand in hand. When IT is developing in such a good space, and on the other hand, we are finding our sociological parameters and policy making, economists, the way they are doing things, or the politicians, we are really feeling sorry for that. So the onus falls not on us. Onus falls all to the kind of legacy that we are carrying for long. And that is really unfortunate, because I have found that all of us have really put very genuine questions, and all of us are trying to extract maximum possibility from a system. Someone is asking what will happen to the physically challenged students when they are going to brought under the purview of digital education. Someone is asking about the whole questions of examination ethics, cheating, and someone is talking about even Tuhin sir is talking about data, the price of data, and another one is madam is talking about attention disorder. So yes, it's really something which is a matter of great concern. I mean, the way we are finding it now, that instead of education in your classroom, all the tiny tots are now being forced to sit for 5 to 7 hours and to listen to kind of lectures that have been given through YouTube and other channels by their teachers. It's a kind of torture. Digital education is to not to make these things more difficult for students. I mean, learning should be fun, learning should be enjoyable. Digital education should not be a burden. And I am sure that the way Jogesh sir has presented a picture about where it
Hello.
can find that there are ways and means by which other agencies can support us, it will be wonderful. It will be wonderful. And that is why the kind of questions that we have received, and we'll also analyze feedback. From there, we'll try to think about it and how things can be sorted out. And for the time being, now we are to the end of this. I request my colleague, Dr. Shufal Vishwas, to deliver the vote of thanks. Shufal sir, please.
Very good evening to all. Now we have come to the end of our webinar. I hope all of us have been enriched by the valuable discussion on digital education. I first of all extend my thanks to the president of our governing body, Shri Jayanto Maulik, whose motivated encouraged us to organize the webinar. Next, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Principal Sir, Dr. Punab Kumar Mishra, and our IQAC coordinator, Dr. Arnab Bal Sir. Their innovative ideas and dedication for the college has been helped the college to reach a new peaks. I express my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Jogesh Pawar, Director, Digital Education IT Solution, for enlightening us about the prospects of digital education in the field of higher education. My thanks is also due to all the colleagues who have participated in the webinar from different parts of our country and made it a success. Thanks to all. Thanks also to the whole digital education IT team, without whose constant support we could not arrange this webinar. Thank you all, and hope to meet you again in another webinar platform. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.